Hey everybody, Dev here from YouNerded.com to talk about The Night of Part 2 titled Subtle Beast. The first thing I want to get about this show, just like I said in my review, is how good looking it is. It was almost distracting to the point. Like, for example, the conversation with Sergeant Box and then the new character Don Taylor, who was Andrea's father, the murder victim, her stepfather. Them talking outside of the police station was just so beautifully shot. I was sort of distracted. I had to actually rewind it to like see what were they saying, because I was just, the visuals in this show are just like top notch. Overall, I thought this was a pretty decent episode following the first episode, which I hope you watch. That obviously focused on Nas a lot, and this one sort of focused on the surrounding characters in Nas's life. That was Sergeant Detective Box. That was John Stone, played by John Tortura. There was his parents as well, we got a little bit more insight on, who we didn't really get to see in that first episode get affected by until that closing shot of Nas's father standing in the street wondering where his cab was. The one thing I really liked about the first episode is that even though it was focused on Nas, we still got a sense that these characters were very lived in and very developed, even without saying much and without having much screen time. But this episode further proved that and showed us that, you know, John, he has a home life. It doesn't blatantly say it, but, you know, he married into a family and he still takes care of his son, who you saw his mom come pick him up, which I thought was a nice subtle touch. And then one theme I liked throughout the episode was people just reminding John that this case is sort of, he's out of his league with it and he sort of got lucky. So that's what I really enjoyed about like his character, showing that he is the underdog and everything's against him, similar how Nas, all the evidence that was shown is against him too. And then another character I thought was fleshed out a little bit more was Sergeant Detective Box, who it was dubbed as a subtle beast, even though it was kind of corny. I heard just because I know it was the episode title, when I heard Nas say it, it was sort of like, okay, yeah, we get it. But with that, after that, it showed us, like, the show did its job and showed us that, yeah, this guy is sort of like a subtle beast. Like, he does have anger. It's just sort of as this episode was to the series, he's sort of the slow burn to what I'm guessing is going to be a big, like, you know, he has some fierceness in him, but he's very, like, patient and calculating about it. And then lastly, I want to like the new introduction of Don Taylor, who was Andrea's stepfather, and then we also had Helen Weiss, who is going to be the opposing lawyer, who just seems like someone who doesn't like to lose. And side fact, just going back to the visuals, when she was introduced, it was like 5 shots of her just like standing here and then standing there, and they're just like, there's like 5 places where you look good standing, and then they shot it. But I still appreciate the visuals. But I thought her character's introduction was necessary here too, because I feel like her versus John in the courtroom is going to be quite intense, because you have this underdog who's represents someone who we think is innocent, and then you also have this lawyer who doesn't seem like she likes to lose. But overall, I thought this was a great episode. Nas was still sort of in the background here and sort of used as like a catalyst for everything that was happening around him, but he still sort of had that presence, and we still felt sorry for him going through all the beats and stuff of the legal system and going through Rikers to show how heavy this crime is that he's committed, and that he's going to be surrounded by people who may have committed far worse crimes, and he's sort of here who we assume is innocent. And that's pretty much what I got for the review. If you guys have any questions or concerns or anything like that, just let me know in the comments or tweet at me. I'm at YouNerded on Twitter. That's the word dot. And then you guys can follow along with the reviews that we'll be pumping out weekly along with these type of videos as well. But until next time, see you guys next one, I guess. Yeah.